Israel. It's the Lord's 54th annual Passover in North Carolina.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do. Huh?
The ISUPK, under Commander General Yohana, will be hosting the Lord's 54th annual Passover in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Convention Center. This is something that you do not want to miss. Make sure that y'all bring the entire family.
Wait till I get with you. If I gotta go to ground, I'ma shut the town down. I ain't about to stop until I hear sand down. All you gonna see is a lot of man down.
The Downtown Raleigh Convention Center. For Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Go to isupk.com to purchase your tickets today. $200 per every adult over the age of 17 years old.
We are not the same. No, we not related. I'm not stuck on living. Death is a vacation. My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout.
The
We
Lord's
just want the grade.
54th annual Passover, April the 1st, is coming down to Raleigh, North Carolina. That's right. Commander General Yohana has done it again. You don't want to miss this. Pull yourself. Pull yourself.
Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and their head with that shit. Friday, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel, he nice but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, I'm too solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for real. I got real soldiers, kill for me, nigga, watch yourself. They say you been in beast mode lately, you is not yourself. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspire. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. In the field like Jeepers Creepers, say they want some smoke, dawg. So I brought these chimney sweeps. Coming like we coming, you can't even cap. These niggas don't run it like we running, bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till them do us part. So if you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, fine in. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel, he nice but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. I heard they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rate for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Think I'm joking, I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dawg? Guns and butter, baby boy. You PK top, dawg. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that Ecoline van to a damn tank. I got chopper stash in the attic like they Anne Frank. They had that shit on lock till I snapped on them like bolt cutters. You cannot play both sides, gotta choose your colors. See him throwing that one up with that W, that's my blood, bro. Fine in. I ain't show no mercy, I'm gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the dust, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel, he nice but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a made, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal.
feel the beat.
I don't know who, somebody need to hear this. Y'all don't speak Hebrew, that's Yiddish. How the fuck you try to label us anti-Semitic? We the Israelites, blacks, native Hispanics. The Germans getting locked up for the Holocaust. Meanwhile, black people still up in the Holocaust. 100 million of us died in the transatlantic. 6 million died, y'all want the world to never forget it. You can never be a Jew, you a Ashkenaz. This ain't a star dum-dum, a gun die or die. Yeah, Yeezy told the truth and got ostracized. Not one person in the Bible had on a yarmulke. We was slaves in America like we was in Egypt. Y'all don't even fit the curses in the Torah neither. Y'all was blind to the truth, I had to make it clear. How Jerusalem, your land, your people came from Europe. That was 1947, your menorah got 9 sticks, it's really only 7. Yeah, it's us against the world, Armageddon. This what happened when you inherit lies from your ancestors. Y'all the synagogue of Satan with them black hats. Your whole nation sitting ducks, Aflacs. Bunch of thieves and culture vultures, ain't nothing kosher. To tell the truth, you vagabonds don't have a culture. Macedonia, Alexander and Philip, you a convert, so tell me, how the fuck is you Israel? That don't make you the people just cause you litter. Why my people can't hate your people like y'all hate Hitler? All the prophets was black and was called nigga. Y'all don't even fit the description that's in the scriptures. Abraham, all the way down to Jacob, we the real Jews. Y'all don't study Christ, y'all follow the Talmud. Keep it real, yeah, let's keep it real. Cold hard truth, it give you chills. Say y'all Jewish cause y'all ain't really them. About to do them like Hammond, this the Feast of Purim. UBK undefeated, this an easy win. We was born fighting, y'all the evil twin. Jacob took hold of his heel, then out came his little red bastard, they kosher deals. It's only 12 tribes, y'all trying to make it 13. Esau despised his birthright, the Lord cursed him. He ain't the devil, who is? I'm still searching. Ask your rabbi, why he get them babies herpes? I don't know what's worse, that or you claiming that you a Maccabee. I'm about to cancel, everybody try to cancel ye. I ain't afraid to speak, this what I do. They riding to the core, I'm just judging them by their fruit. Cause they ain't suffering curses. If I was carnal, I promise I'd punch you in person. I know this an uncomfortable subject. They making millions off our culture and black people suffering from it. Yeah, they don't believe in Christ, they the Antichrist. Make a living off of niggas, they a parasite. I ain't afraid to tell the truth, niggas terrified. I'm about to go DEFCON 4, I ain't satisfied.
That is proof. That is absolute proof that they know we are the real Jews. That's absolute proof. Now you got the records. Go find me a white Jew on any archaeology in Egypt anywhere. You will never find a piece of archaeology with white people as slaves in Egypt. So don't tell me that they were slaves and it's their identity, and they know it. And I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews and are not. The Lord knows the blasphemy of you so-called white people that say you are Jews and you are not Jews. You are not the people of the law. You are not God's chosen people. God's chosen people are living in the ghettos of America. God's chosen people are in poverty and depression in the streets of America. God's chosen people are walking around in America with no identity. That's where God's chosen people are.
Practice. Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that? And we're talking about practice.
Back row.
Best believe that I'm top 3. The only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Put me anywhere other than one that is not me. It's beef, we strut a nigga block, that's chopped cheese. No peace, the butterfly sting him, that's Ali. You reach, I teach him with the handle, that's Kyrie. Machines you hook like a Roman, that's IV. You a sheep, I'm a go, it's a difference, so watch me. You weak, all hooks, no punches, so block these. They mock me, I just show them how it goes. Try to stomach this thug life. They ring got the nose, bandana on the grip. All heads coming out the foe. Connected from Cali to New York, niggas, so let it go. Made for this, nigga, I eat bars and drink flows. Thinking you woke into your third eye, peephole. Line for line, this shit too easy, it's like a free throw. Mastered the game too early, this bitch a cheat code. It ain't a game, these niggas lame, they bring a shame. If I'm with an officer, it's a number in his name. We ain't the same, you want the easy pass, tell him change his lane. Shit, I've been through the fire, you can't stand the rain, take an aim. Tell him runner he can try his best. Drive a car named after me, that's why I'm in the vet. Laugh at these niggas once again and I ain't break a sweat. Number one at everything I do, that's why I'm one west. The Lord is not the God of the dead, so when I die, coming back for my spot, so forever I'm top 3. Just tell him to watch this, janitor with the mop stick. You gon' need a defensive lineman to block this. On point when I bomb shit, 10 for 10 I do not miss. I'm barking with a full bulldog, it is not mixed. They can see that my mind's sick, I don't write, I find shit. I don't like it, then I switch. If I touch it, it's diamond. Tell a bitch that I'm God sent. It ain't because my kicks is built like 5'6", 5'7" is my bitch. Dangerous, high risk, I lose it, get another one. You think I'm talking about a girl, I'm talking about another gun. We here now? Hey look, it is what it is now. We don't fuck with the house niggas, we burn the crib down. I'm ahead now, and I hope they can hear now. I don't care if you think it's it, nigga, I don't fear clown. Silences make it sound like raindrop, that's a quiet storm. Get the job done in the view and get fired on. If you niggas standing for nothing, what you dying for? If you put real with real, that's how I was born. Walking this bitch ready for war, I'm in riot form. I want these niggas to see me flex, that's why I am armed. I shouldn't live in the crib, nigga, I should buy a farm to go through this shit so effortless. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is, I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is, I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is, I'm not 2 and I'm not 3.
Bust their head.
ODing on a beat, Narcan flow. Got my... We outside, outside. We outside, outside with it. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mess and we was outside. The Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one west for that bag and we outside. We outside. I got the world in the palm of my hand. One West sleeve stretch, do it live on the gram. Had a whole world viewing. Click and subscribe. Had them niggas off the block, tell them shooters they want a job. I just put them on the payroll. When I get control them, I just mold them like they Play-Doh. Soldiers giving Halo, trying to get up at them pesos. 40 cows send you out of space, Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, leave you all boxed up. All cause my delivery. I be on that prime shit. Take you time to get with me. Got me like Vladimir. Treat you like the Ukraine. Raid your little city, now you boating like Usain. Scope costs more than the rifle. I got new aim, fresh kick, spit with the blick. Not my shoe game. Used to have a dirty 30 tied to a shoestring. Now I got that Ruger 5 and 7. That's my boot thing. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mess and we was outside. The Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one west for that bag and we outside. We outside. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mess and we was outside. The Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one west for that bag and we outside. We outside. I don't talk hardly, be there when you call me. Send them Philly clippers at your head like a baldy. Chopper get to run down your block like a Harley. No, this ain't a big hog, this the big dog.
In your city, swinging through the jungle like it's Pitfall. In the water wading, marching to my cadence. Big burst of thunder in my hands like I'm reading. Shitty Mortal Kombat sounds, but I ain't playing.
Look 'em in the eye before the war like a weigh-in. I'm up in the AM, politicking movements with that Draco from the vid because it's proven. Waiting on my brother how to bid, he ain't do shit. That's how life go. Win some, you lose. Seen a little nigga beat a big nigga out his shoes. Seen that nigga come back, pull up with a gun strap, rob everybody outside, told him run that. We outside. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, outside, yeah, we outside. Before the COVID had the mask and we was outside. My Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. It's one west for that bag and we outside. Outside, outside, yeah, we outside. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. We outside, outside, and we outside. Outside, outside, yeah, we outside. We outside, outside, yeah, we outside. It's 1 West on them corners, and we outside. We outside, outside with it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what it is. 144 the rebel, busy man shit, nigga. They turn their head on, nigga.
Pray what Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like Samson, I can't let no holder lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Nigga think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying. This shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert. Another cop to stretch the nigga. He a demon, it's an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that oath in blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. Fuck the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit and I ain't listening. Is it fact or fiction? If revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jack the Ripper. War, we gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crack as hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I came to do damage, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it Young Barry. How you real trickin' on them dots, you a bird feeder. Claiming he a demon, was a demon to a cult leader. When he said something, I ain't hear him, this shit life work. It ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. Bring shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you won't never get that hand back. Bitch about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brother's blood. Everybody won't be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, I with that hollow son, yeah, this the real McCoy. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still about my bread, still I think that's all that I enjoy. I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his gang, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy. This shit is endless. What I speak is the truth. I don't care if it's offensive. 12 rounds hit hard, and this shit gon' go the distance. Way to exit cool, but wait till you see the interest. Know that we them niggas when we walk inside the entrance. Put me as the GOAT, you should be honored to get a mention. All my clips is standard, but I still get extensions. Switch on the big 30, sound like when it's spittin'. Album so high, I had to give them an extension. 1 West till they bury me. Yeah, that's the commitment. Don't trust the soul, niggas purring or they hissin'. Been winning so much, they didn't think I put the fix in. Get the game to go my way, they gon' thinkin' that I rigged it. If I say it in my raps, I would do it or I lived it. What you say in your raps is entertainment, you just kidding. Hard times, I got tired of being broke, so I fixed it. This pole get the job done, nigga, this is stick shit. What I speak is the truth, I don't care if it's offensive. The life that I chose, no turning back, we end this. They don't understand till we tell them no forgiveness. Rain on them, 40 days, 40 nights, shit is endless. What I speak is the truth, I don't care if it's offensive. This the life that we chose, no turning back, we end this. They don't understand when we tell them no forgiveness. Rain on them, 40 days, 40 nights, this shit is endless. I believe in reincarnation, so you know this endless. I'm solidified and stamped, that's why I walk with a signet. Build it from the ground up, did it all independent. Don't put your head in my business, to the wall I'm appended. They say I walk around like I'm perfect, bitch, I'm sinless, blameless. And if you ain't the same, I'm against it. Was born with the shit, the other half, I'm just gifted. 20 on me, wish a nigga would so I could spend it. Start from
up the branch, then I ain't at the soil. You got a peer on me, that'll leave your family tree spoil you. Can't catch you, then I get your man, make him lure you. The only comp is me, and I'm trying to be cordial. I feel like I'm royal, you interchange with the mind. I love a 10 with a sexy walk, but I'll take a switch with a 9. Gear up and go crazy when they tell me it's time. Empty the whole clip to the last shot like the game. What I speak is the truth, I don't care if it's offensive. The life that I chose, no turning back, we in this. They don't understand till we tell them no forgiveness. Rain on them 40 days, 40 nights, shit is endless. What I speak is the truth, I don't care if it's offensive. This the life that we chose, no turning back, we in this. They don't understand when we tell them no forgiveness. Rain on them 40 days, 40 nights, this shit is endless.
Clap it up. All right, Shalom Israel, y'all boxing me outside, Barakathon to the brothers, y'all Shamar Latan boxing me outside to the sisters. We are the ISUPK, the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969, 1 West on 25th Street, Harlem, New York, led by Commander Junior Young. So we coming to you live from Twin City, Minnesota, St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tuesday Brotherhood class. In consideration of Black History Month, we're going to go into some of the origins of Black History Month, how that was established, who was established by, the inspiration behind it, and the subsequent failures of such a, widely decorated and accepted, more or less, holiday. Pay your tithes. Like, share, comment on social media platforms. And we're gonna jump into this with Zephaniah 2:1, brother. If you get that, Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. One of the main, so we lose focus a lot when it comes to ideologies like this, like Black History Month, like Martin Luther King's birthday, like other historical figures that seem to have done something for our people that was just kind of fluffed up, like they didn't like emancipation from Abraham Lincoln. That's not what people think it really was. That's not what people think it really was. His efforts to free the slaves had nothing to do with his concern for slavery.
Right.
That was all. That it was just a political endeavor, and it's something that a lot of people don't want to. They wouldn't want to try to stain a man's reputation with, but you can't avoid it. And this is based off his own words. Now, other people are going to argue that it was taken out of context. We're going to argue back that he knew exactly what the hell he was saying, and he meant it the way he said it. So now, first, gathering together as a people. That's one of the primary objectives in dealing with the truth, is to dispel the lies, break these, curses, and rehabilitate our communities, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the Israelites, the lost 12 tribes of Israel. And we got a lot of work, ahead of us. The negative engagements that we have, committing crimes against each other, selling drugs to one another, doing drugs with one another, domestic abuse, things like that. It's as a result of the conditioning under this captivity, under this oppression. And you'll see that historically, like if you were to go from like the Babylonian captivities, the Assyrian captivities, the Egyptian captivities, you'll see how their mechanisms were used against us to turn us on each other, to treat each other the same way that they treated us.
Right.
And again, I always say this: we hate each other the same way that we love our oppressor.
That's right.
And that's what keeps on, digging that hole a little bit deeper. That crab in a barrel kind of mentality. It keeps fueling that. And that's one of the main problems that we need to address. That we adamantly and avidly work to fix here in this school, UPK, on the Command and General Yohana. It's not just Clubhouse, Facebook, TikTok, social media platforms. Like, we do real things out there in the world too, making real connections with these brothers and sisters that otherwise, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've only ever known hate and violence and criminality. And you know what I'm saying? Like, in this country, under this rulership, at odds with each other. We're always at odds with each other. We lack compassion, empathy, and consideration for one another. But we give that to everybody else.
Right.
But we the quickest to shoot each other down, to trip each other up. And it happens, almost instinctively. So now we got Black History Month. And you'd think that would be a good time for, unity and prosperity, and again, everybody love everybody. You still got a murder rate during Black History Month. The murder rates, they don't decrease. It still pops off. And everybody throughout this month, they're gonna have Black history in the back of their head. Mm-hmm. They're not gonna apply none of that though.
Right.
As sincere as they might be, listen, crack cocaine still exists.
That's right.
Fentanyl still exists.
That's
Weed
right.
still exists. Nicotine, Newport still
That's
exists.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's poverty still exists. Decades old, generational old beef still exists. Mm-hmm. These are the things that's gonna keep on tripping us up, even in the light of Black History Month. That's supposed to be all, it's gonna be all inclusive. Like y'all think this is just about Black people. Nah. This is about, because this is also LGBT month. I believe so. If I'm not mistaken, Slack, if I might be wrong on that, but this is also.
No. You said that month, not Slack. That's June.
This ain't that. That's June.
Yeah, that's June.
That's June. All right, never mind. Never mind. So they got away with that one.
But Slack, if I may, it was Rosa Parks' birthday just the other day.
I see. Got Rosa Parks' birthday.
If I may, so like how they celebrated it was Black people filled up all the buses in the back.
And what did that do?
Yeah, nothing.
What did that do? You might as well have some devil crumping right next to you. Like the people that made their kingdom off of the oppression of Rosa Parks, like the real Rosa Parks, because again, the person that they got in the papers and the movies and the films, that ain't her.
Right.
That ain't their sister.
Mm-hmm.
They needed somebody with a lighter skin tone to be what's the word? Promoted. You know what I'm saying? That they needed that for the likes, for the views, for the shares that y'all should be doing on these videos.
That's right.
So
That's
like,
right.
give me Zephaniah 2:1.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together, ye, gather together, all nations not desired.
We have to at least start there. As uncomfortable and awkward as it might be, as sensitive as some people might be about certain stances and certain philosophies, ideologies, it's healthy and it's important to hash that out. It's not, we got to rip off this Band-Aid, man. Like, we really have to dress the wound, and we're not going to be able to until we gather together, and until we're more realistic and practical about being that nation that's not desired, being hated by everybody else, giving our love away to everybody else, being hated as shit by everybody else. but finding that consideration for one another, to at least come together and discuss the issues that we may have differences on.
Right. Right.
And you're gonna have to suck it up. You're gonna have to stop being so damn sensitive. There's a change coming in this world.
Right.
That's gonna make some people uncomfortable. You're gonna have to get over that. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be good. At the end of it, we gotta go through some things, before we get to that point though. And that's gonna mean a toppling of a kingdom that has had their boot on our neck for hundreds of years, realistically thousands of years. If you really want to take it back, like to the etymology of how they had gained their power.
Right.
Like when they first really started conquering and ruling over the earth like that. You want to take it back like that? We're talking thousands of years. They've been oppressing our people, and we've been indoctrinated and subjugated to their way of life for, again, thousands of years. We've been divided against each other for thousands of years.
Right.
We've been brutally hunted and manipulated and betrayed, lied to, extorted for thousands of years. So I understand, trusting somebody is that can be an issue. But again, you're gonna have to eat that medicine, man. You're gonna have to gird up your loins. You're gonna have to man up, for the men and for the women, and guide your children properly so that they don't have to face this alone. All too often, we leave those people that we're supposed to be protecting in the dust because we don't know the truth about this or that. We're not studying enough about practical history. So again, we're going to get into this with Black History Month. That's going to be a huge mechanism that's going to be used to feign encouragement into our people and predisposing them, giving them a subconscious reliance onto what's more or less going to be idolatry.
Right.
What's more or less going to be, again, another holiday, another fake holiday. As sincere as that brother was, Woodson, as sincere as that brother was, his train of thought was already compromised. He was in a Greek fraternity too while he was in college. And we see the history of Greek fraternities, and especially when it considers our people.
Right.
You a Black man ensconced in a Greek philosophy. You're not even practicing like real Greek ways. You're just doing some weirdo stuff with some sheets on and getting drunk and high. Not to say that's necessarily what the brother did, but by and large, again, Greek fraternities, they ain't got a good track record. Well, keep going with that. Zephaniah 2:2.
Come on, sir. Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 2. Before the decree bring forth.
Before this gets too bad, man, and we're going to talk about that decree also. So hold Zephaniah 2. I want you to also get Psalms chapter 2. Let's go to Psalms chapter 2, and then we're going to open it up a little bit from there. But then I want you to keep on reading Zephaniah. We've been led astray by brothers and sisters that meant good, that had good intentions, just misinformed and softened up without that will to fight back, without that will to really dig into those uncomfortable truths and peel back those layers that would lead to the healing process. Mental health and emotional stability is another plague in our communities, on top of drug addiction, alcoholism, domestic abuse, and violence. These are all things that we need to face as a community, that they cannot help. We cannot rely on our oppressor, on these devils to heal the wounds of our community when they are part of the cause.
That's right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we can't rely on them. And what did Muhammad Ali say about them? 10,000 snakes come rushing to the door. If 1,000 of them ain't poisonous, am I just gonna hold it open and try to sift them out? And I'm paraphrasing the hell out of that. But or am I just gonna shut the door? We need to shut the door. We need to protect what we got left up here.
Right.
Because again, this transition it's happening. We're seeing this happening. We're seeing brothers and sisters waking up, coming back home to the truth. And battling back against this system. Not with force, not with violence, not with guns, not with knives. With sobriety, with humility, with compassion, with love for their people. And again, we talked about this, I think, 1 or 2 weeks ago, or even during one of the last Sabbath services, about how, everybody wants to talk about their opinion, views and opinions on the Bible and about God. God is love. Absolutely.
Right.
God is also war.
That's right.
And we are going to get hated. They're going to hate us. Understand? They're going to treat us. They're going to abhor us for loving our own people because we're not sharing that with them. When they got NATO, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like Russia and Ukraine, they still at war. Ukraine did not forget to hate the hell out of some brothers when they were fleeing the country. But they've got nations behind them. They've got enough support. They don't need ours. We need our support. We need to back each other up. And again, you're going to get scrutinized for that. You're going to get judged for that. And you're just going to have to get over it. It's not the end of the world. Worse things have happened than somebody not liking you. It happens every day.
Right.
We experience it in our own household, in our own families, in our own communities. Why are we so worried about the people that have had a concerted effort to destroy us and damage us? Why are we worried about if they like us or not? We need to heal that beef that's between two neighbors right across the street from each other. That's what needs to get healed, so that their kids can continue to grow, so that they're not shooting up each other's funerals over something stupid. Over, and again, it escalates so damn fast. Dice games. Ain't no wrong with shooting some dice, man. Just, make sure that you're mature enough to handle if you're losing some money. And make sure that you're brotherly enough to not be trying to swindle or scam your brother.
Right. That's right.
So before it gets this bad, keep going. Before the decree, before it gets bad, before you see bombs dropping out the sky, before you see chariots cracking that sky open, but before you see this government getting toppled, make sure you right with the Lord, man. All right,
that's right. Before the days pass, as the chaff,
as the chaff,
as the chaff,
as the chaff, and that's just like fire tinder, easily burnt up. Easily burnt up, and it's small. It's nothing. It's kind of inconsequential. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't want to say trash. Well, yeah, it's kind of trash, it's kind of garbage. It's chaff. It's meaningless. It's meaningless. Keep going.
Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
Before you get burnt up, man. Before you there is gonna come a time where it's too late to turn back. So you're gonna want to make sure that you get this done, well in advance. Just like the Passover, you're gonna want to make sure that you get all your affairs in order, for the Passover, April 1st, Raleigh, North Carolina, the downtown North Carolina Convention Center. You want to make sure that you get your hotel straight, that you get your travel straight before it's too late, before it's the last minute, and now you're struggling and not able to make it, and then all that stress and all that pressure, gonna mess your mind up, and then you end up doing something stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to make sure that you get straight before all this has to go down, before the Lord come back.
Right.
Keep going.
Before the day of the Lord anger come upon you.
Like, don't think that just because you still alive right now that you ain't, like, your name ain't on them books.
Right.
That you ain't on them records, man. You want to clear your name. You want to clear your reputation. You want to make sure that you good, that you solid. All right, keep going.
Verse 3. Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have worked his judgment. Seek righteousness. Seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger.
It might just be that you can say yourself, man. You expect, brothers and sisters that are still living in the world that are just finding out about the truth, that just trying to come back home. It may be a struggle. You might be dealing with some things. Listen, get counsel. But you do have that chance, because again, you're still breathing. You're still, like, if you're waking up in the morning, you still got that opportunity to correct, some of the things that you may have done wrong, and repent and change your life. Now give me Psalms, because this is the decree that we was talking about. Good.
Psalms chapter 2, verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
I want you to jump down to verse 7 also, but listen, they're gonna cry and complain and run to HR and you can go to ISUPK.com, you can go to Cross the Line Radio, you can go to Let It Be Known, you can go to Let the Hebrew Speak, you can go to Black Watch, the Round Table. This, that, and the third. We got a lot of different platforms. Boot Up or Shut Up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a lot of different platforms that if you have a question, comment, or concern, you got an HR personnel brother waiting to answer your question. Ready and waiting. All too happy to give you an answer that you're probably not gonna like. Just people are gonna have to get over it. Don't get caught up in that thing. Don't get caught up in something that's just empty, just because of how you feel, and mainly how other people feel. You're so concerned about how other people feel that it changes how you act. Don't be that guy, and don't be that girl. Don't be that man. Don't be that woman. Just follow suit. Do what you're told to do. Get into this truth, man. Get into this school. Contact that school near you. ISUPK.com. It's that simple. Like, you go online for like everything else, thinking like you can get degrees online. You can become doctors and lawyers and preachers and pastors online over a computer. You can also learn the truth. You should get in that contact with that school near you.
That's right.
So that you're not. Read that part from the top. Read verse 1.
Psalms chapter 2, verse 1.
So you're not this.
Why do the heathen rage?
So you're not acting like them heathens first off, because a lot of our people, they gonna act like them heathens. Heathen is just another. It's just a older term for other nations. That's all it is. It doesn't even mean anything really derogatory. It can be used derogatory, but in its just basic form, it's just a word for other nations. So don't be like the heathens.
And the people imagine a vain thing.
Again, you imagine things. It's like yourself.
Like, it seems that we got a question. Might be a true, might not. We don't know yet. But there's someone on YouTube by the name of "You Can't Be Racist Towards Whites." They said,
very creative name.
Yeah. They said, why you worried about Black History Month? You see where that's going?
Did they say anything? Was it just that was it?
No.
Why are we worried about Black History Month?
Yeah, why are you worried about Black History Month? That's what the person said on YouTube.
If you're still following us, I'd like to hear more about what you mean by that. If I were just to answer based off the face value of that question, why we?
Yeah. Don't the oppressors study history, keep checking reality, keep us down and stuff?
No, they absolutely do. Right. Absolutely do. So now we didn't even all right. That's a good segue to get into some of the origin stories of not origin stories, but the history of Black History Month. Yeah. I didn't want to make it seem like just like stories like rumors, things like that. Just the history of it. So we started off in early 1900s, around 1915 is like when the concept first kind of came into play. My brother, who was collegiate, Carter G. Woodson, co-founded in all right. So some of this I'm going to be reading off of NationalGeographic.com. This is an article provided by their website. So like how it started in 1915 in response to lack of information on the accomplishments of Black people available to the public. So again, in his sincerity, trying to provide the information of Black people's accomplishments in this country, they wanted to start. They wanted to recognize the efforts, and they wanted to kind of track the history and paint that picture. So Carter G. Woodson co-founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. Now, in 1926 is when it actually started coming into play. So it started off as just a week, and now they had chosen a specific week too. It started off as Negro History Week. So the week that they chose was based off of the birthday of Frederick Douglass, which was on the 12th of February, and Abraham Lincoln, which was on the 14th of February. To commemorate who they had perceived as a very inspirational Black man whose father was white, whose father was an Edomite. And so even though there is a little bit of scrutiny behind specifically who his father was, because he had changed hands a couple times, all the evidence is indicating Aaron Anthony, who was an overseer on the Y Plantation for the governor, Edward Lloyd, in Talbot County, Maryland. So he was an overseer on the plantation. He also was a property owner who had slaves of his own, but he was primarily, his job was the overseer for this man's plantation. So all of the historical indicators would cite this man as being his father, who was an Edomite. Does it give his origin? Second, I'm not seeing that right here. For what specific Edomite tribe he came from, but nonetheless, it either fell between this Edomite or who was the other one? Thomas something or other. And I think I closed that page. But it was one of two Edomites that were proposed to be his father. And if you would look at the pictures, you can see not only the resemblances, but it's pretty clear that Aaron Anthony was the father. So it was based off of Frederick Douglass' birthday and then Abraham Lincoln birthday. Now, Abraham Lincoln, of course, is famous for the emancipation, the abolishment, the slavery abolishment. Modern pop culture will teach you that he did it because of slavery, that he was trying to free Black people, and we'll all say because Black people were not the only slaves either. Let's not skew that part either. You had Native Indians, you had Hispanics, so-called Native Indians and Hispanics, along with so-called Black people that were slaves. Now you had other indentured servants. Despite how they might want to try to throw in like the Irish and the Chinese, those were like Those were like actual like business deals between them. They were not subjected to the same oppression and enforced slavery that we had, and they kept their identity. They were given again, you got Chinatown everywhere in every major metropolitan city. You got them Asian neighborhoods that are pretty much self-sufficient and contribute back to their own people. And the Irish, again, they had, so that was more of an indentured servitude. So again, they had retained not only their identity, their culture, their heritage, their names. Again, same thing with the Asian communities, but they had regained freedom and they were afforded a level of citizenship that still was not made to us, even after this so-called Emancipation Proclamation. So now, in Lincoln's own words, this is the letter that he had wrote in response to Horace Greeley, and this is coming off of the name of this website. And I'm pulling this article from, I don't know if that's foreign, but quad.lib.umich.edu. The collected works of Abraham. So in his letter, in his response to Horace Greeley, who was not just he wasn't a journalist per se. Well, that's kind of never mind the point. But in his response, so the point that a lot of people have this issue over that they say is taken out of context is his attention and his intentions for the Union, his intentions to the Union. So I would save the Union. I would save it the shortest way under the Constitution. The sooner the national authority can be restored, the nearer the Union will be. The Union as it was. So now again, that Union had no compassion for slavery. They weren't fighting against slavery. So now he's saying the Union as it was. So this was during not only like a big election season, but the throes of power and control between the Northern Union and like the Southern Union, where in the South it was more agriculture because of the climate, the soil, the environment, things like that. So it was more of an agricultural environment. The North was getting more industrialized. Now, to work all that land and all the agriculture, the cotton, the tobacco, the sugar cane, all the livestock, they needed them slaves because they sure as hell were not about to lift a finger, pull themselves out of slave population, which was part of the introduction of the 13th Amendment, making slaves free for their voting power. So now, when they were battling back and forth on not only whether capitals should be who's going to run, this country, at the time it was still kind of minimized to the 13 colonies. It was still just kind of that stretch on the East Coast for the most part. So his response, because again, they still had that union well established during the accepted slavery, period and conditions. So they didn't have a problem with slavery because the Union never fought against slavery, right? Until it came to that 13th Amendment, where the Southerners. All right, so there was a larger population, more denser population in the North, but the Southerners wanted to gain their control and power. They wanted to make their slaves eligible to vote. So then there was that bill passed for the 13th Amendment to make slaves 3/5 of a man, so that collectively, they could cast their ballots at the behest of their masters, their owners, to favor whatever party, you know, they wanted to back. Well, that didn't work out, or that was not liked by another group of people. Again, both parties were Edomites, by the way.
Right.
So now, continuing with his address, the Union as it was. If there be those who would not save the Union, unless they could at the same time save slavery, I do not agree with them. So again, this was just a political endeavor. If there be those who would not save the Union unless they could at the same time destroy slavery, I do not agree with them. So whether if the people were to save the Union, regardless, and he's going off the collective thoughts of these people, if they were able to save the Union, regardless of destroying or saving slavery, if it meant the sacrifice or the destruction of the Union, he was opposed to that on both sides of the fence. I do not agree with them. My paramount object in this struggle is to save the Union. That was his only concern, and is not either to save or destroy slavery. He didn't care. The way that again, pop culture mainly wants to try to narrate this this exchange or his address here. He was not only concerned with the conditions of slavery, the application of slavery, because again, the Union that was originally established was also a part of slavery. Like they all owned slaves.
Right.
Abraham Lincoln owned slaves.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? George Washington owned slaves. And George Washington was a brutal bastard too. Like, and Frederick Douglass's father, who also owned slaves, he was, you know, being an overseer. He was a nasty man too. So his only concern was to save the Union, and is not either to save or destroy slavery. He really didn't care. Like that was just a tool that was being used, you know, to try to gain influence or gain ground on one side or the other. That was his only concern as far as the topic of slavery went. If I could save the Union without freeing any slave, I would do it. And if I could save it by freeing all the slaves, I would do it. And if I could save it by freeing some and leaving others alone, I would also do that. He had no real stance necessarily on the issues of slavery. He just wanted to save his Union. And we would later find out, well, all right, so the same application that they used for slavery back then, the same principles that they used to govern and make slavery lawful back then is the same way that they had given like the prison system's power today. And you know, part of that was kind of segued through the Jim Crow laws, and that whole area. So again, like all these things are coupled up. They go hand in hand. They go back to back. So he wasn't trying to help no brothers out. He wasn't looking out for Woodson, for Carter G. Woodson. He did not have him in mind.
Right.
And he accepted Frederick Douglass again because of his etymology, his ethnic background and his history. What I do about slavery and the colored race, I do because I believe it helps to save the Union. Again, that's it. It was just a political move. There's nothing to take out of context. He's just being honest about his intentions here. At a time when, again, their kind of stronghold, you know, was being, you know, jeopardized by other people that wanted to regain that wanted to maintain their power, their freedoms, without being subjected to, you know, government statutes and things like that. They were trying to be like an independent state, independent country, doing whatever the hell they wanted to do. So in order to gain that political power, the 13th Amendment, you know, 3/5 of a man, emancipation, you know what? So all the slaves that were so-called free during, and now also keep in mind when the Emancipation Proclamation was first introduced, it was not accepted until like what, like a year or two or something like after. Like it's not like they put it into place and like it was like that. Like it's still, it was not something that was widely accepted by these people. So he's only doing it because he believes it helps to save the Union. And what I forbear because I do not believe it would help to save the Union. So if it were to go against saving the Union, he would have been against it. If it would have been in favor of saving the Union, he would have been for it. No matter what the sway was. If keeping Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians enslaved were to save the Union, he would have kept that. He would have kept his own slaves. He would have let everybody else keep their slaves, and still giving them, you know, the authority, you know, over their property, and to treat them how we're, like, again, during this time we were being brutally treated. We were being sexual assaults, sodomy, mutilation, torture, alligator bait, used in game in was it Waukesha in Wisconsin during some of the fairs that they used to have back in the day. They used to put a baby up on a target, and can't remember necessarily how they had labeled the exact game, but hit a nigga baby was basically what the game was. You put a nigga baby on a target that they get to throw shit at. That was a game at a carnival, for these people in Wisconsin. Not that far removed. You know what I'm saying? Or even if we're talking 200 years ago, 300 years ago, that's not that long ago. America is a very young country.
That's right.
Extremely young. So what, 1776 or something is like when that Action County, you know, signed off on it. That's not that far away. So don't, people. The goal of a lot of these classes is to not only properly educate, but to get that veil off of people's minds and to destroy the lives of trolls. Because they're like, I don't even know why they asking about this. We're concerned because this is a Black affair. Just like we got the All Black Party, you know, during the Passover. This is an all Black affair. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in attendance. So now this devil, what I do about slavery and the colored race, I do because I believe it helps to save the Union. He didn't care about the conditions. He didn't care about the legalities. He was just trying to save the Union. He didn't care about the moral consequences or like the pros and cons of freeing, enslaved men. He was just looking at the pros and cons of what is this going to do for the Union. If any move would have been for or against, that's how he was going to act. I forbear because I do not believe it would help to save the Union. I shall do less whenever I shall believe what I am doing hurts the cause, and I shall do more whenever. And that's dude's words. And that's the main point. So the letter does go on. We're not going to go through all this right now. But again, if you go to, you can easily Google the articles, but I'm trying to look up the actual website here. But QUOD.lib That's lib.umich.edu/L/Lincoln. So collected works of Abraham Lincoln. You can look that up. You can read his whole response to Horace, and you can cry yourself to sleep afterwards. I don't want to tell y'all no more, man. We've gone over this time and time again.
Right.
So this is just going over the history of Black History Month again and again and again. As good as his intentions were to try to bring information and acknowledgement to our people that have, strove to the ends of the earth for justice, for equality, and have had so many influences, like so much impact on the earth. I mean, not just in America. Like they bumping our music in Indonesia. You got a whole Chicano subculture in China. They try to dress like us. They try to act like us.
That's right.
Over here.
Right.
So the impact that we've had on this earth is not coincidental. That's biblical. That's scriptural for you. So to address the issues of Black History Month and the problems associated with it, we don't need a month to acknowledge our accomplishments.
That's right.
That's right.
We don't need a week. We didn't need a week. And for us to think that, I still don't know what it does in America. Not a damn thing. I've never seen any. I've seen a lot of fake smiles. I've seen a lot of crocodile tears. I've seen a lot of wolf tickets as a result of this type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the same thing that you get from these fake holidays. It's in that same spirit, because we're kind of relying on their acknowledgement. Again, the brother had, Carter Woodson had brought, a lot of. He provided a platform for the information spread, and for the recognition to be had, which ain't nothing wrong with them efforts. But to kind of, so I mean, this wasn't recognized by America until 1976. So now, mind you, in 1915 is when he had first kind of started coming up with this concept. 1926, so I mean, roughly, 11 years later, is when they had actually kind of put it into practice as a week. That week being based off of the birthdays of two devils, one of them being a slave owner, the other one being the product of a slave owner. And then, 50 years later, it finally kind of get acknowledged on official government record. Never mind it being, the shortest month. I don't think that's necessarily here nor there, coincidental or not, intentional or not, because again, he had modeled it after their birthdays of these two devils. That's the only reason really why it's stuck in February. And he was mainly going off of tradition, not because I mean, damn, you could have picked so many other people that were actually our people.
Right.
I mean, we could have gone off Nat Turner. We could have gone off Harriet Tubman. You had other options.
Right.
It would have been out the spirit to do either of that. But again, there were other options. But the people that he chose was an oppressor's bastard son and an oppressor. And again, what has that afforded us in this country? Nothing. So definitely check that out. Abraham's Lincoln letter to Horace Greeley. And you know, look at it for yourself, man. Because there are a few other things there that come into play with that. I'm kind of losing time. I don't go too far with it, but yeah, I want you to get one second, while this loads. Get 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 7. So his intentions, it may have been all well and good to try to establish something, you know, concrete for our people. And again, we could be doing all of this just amongst each other. We don't need a nationally recognized holiday,
right?
To honor one another, to recognize, you know, the efforts and the sacrifices that our people have made. We've got our own high holy days.
That's right.
That don't need to be recognized. That we set up. I think I phrased that wrong. We don't set them up ourselves. Like we don't, you know, like the dates that we go off of are historical, are biblically accurate. Just we book the hotels, we book the venues,
right?
We make the travel arrangements. We set our garments. You know what I'm saying? Like we practice these old ways.
That's right.
We don't need their acknowledgement. We don't need their help with this. This is something that we were instructed to do, and fully capable of doing independently. So again, the brother had, I believe the brother had sincere and good intentions. Just it became not only watered down, but it like a sideshow. Like a sideshow. Like it ain't nothing. Like you think these devils take Black History more serious?
Right.
Like they care anything about that at all? When they get every other day of the year, when they get a country, you know what I'm saying? Like they laughing at you.
Right.
They mocking you. And you making a damn like freak show of yourself. Black History Month, marching and protesting and petitions. And that whole song and dance. Like that's gonna move them. Again, they built that kingdom. They built the kingdom off of us. A whole empire, a whole dynasty. Generational wealth. Off of our generational curses.
Right.
It's naive to play into that. We don't gain nothing out of it. It doesn't benefit us. I understand for some people it might be a point of pride. You might you know get kind of in your feelings a little bit, like, oh, you know, we've come through so much. Like, again, why do we need to delegate that to a week or a month? We don't just live in February. What about January and March and April and May and June? I think there's a couple more after that. And I think this has been going on for some years. So what about all those years accumulated? Just don't let that, and we're gonna get that scripture too. Don't let that gift destroy your heart. Don't let that soften you up.
Right.
Get that.
2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 7. Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of truth.
So now, you know, truth is objective. All right. So first off, truth is objective. That's just, it's quantifiable. It's black and white. It's fact.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got some people that just live in their own truths, which is subjective, which is just, you know, based off of their own experiences, their views and opinions, and how they think or feel at any given moment. Because goddamn, according to their truth, you could be one gender or another, or a furry, or it goes too far.
Right.
It goes too far when you just leave that up to somebody else's, again, views and opinions. When the truth is just what that is. So now, they might, again, as heartfelt as it might be, ever learning, never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Because if Carter, if that brother Carter Woodson really knew what he was talking about, he wouldn't have based Black History Month off of two devils, their birthdays, centered around their birthdays for their perceived accomplishments. Now, Frederick Douglass, he was a reputable, civil rights abolitionist. I believe he was an inventor, very innovative. He was a slave also himself. So he was born of a devil, but he was born of a devil, but he was born to a slave. As heartbreaking of a story as that might be, that don't make him us. And if you're gonna go, and this is scientific, as far as like your ethnicity, your lineage being based off of the seed of your father, that's just science. That's not that's in the Bible. That is contained in the Bible, but that is also verified and backed by science. That's just nature. That's just how that thing works.
Right.
Right.
He was a devil.
That's right.
That's right.
Frederick Douglass was a heathen. And I know that hurts a lot of feelings. Despite what he, again, may have been, the attributes that he had perceived to have made and offered or, given to the efforts of, freedom and equality and this and that, and enriching, history and culture and all that. He wasn't our people. And there's nothing wrong with that. Bob Marley ain't us either. That breaks a lot of people's hearts too, just because of the way that they look. People are too focused on how people look versus just their background, versus just what they really are. And that can be an uncomfortable conversation for a lot of people to have. Again, it's Zephaniah 2:1. Gather together. So at least we can discuss these issues and try to break down those barriers. And again, peel that onion back. Peel that onion back so that we can get to the root of the problems.
Right.
So Carter, Carter Woodson, Carter G, sincere as he might have been, he missed. He did not understand the assignment. He was still coming from a slave and Christian mentality. His family must have, they must have been damn, what's the word I'm looking for? Scholars of that slave Bible. Like they must have ate off of that thing, because he just again open arms, just accepted that mockery, being in the Greek fraternity.
Right.
Giving that much credence and respect to two devils, despite, again, what they had perceived to have done and accomplished. Abraham Lincoln, according to his own words, did not make any effort on our behalf for our safety, for our freedom, because he was concerned about us. Right. It was all about the Union and to keep his seat of power and to keep their way of life moving forward and progressing, not ours. Because if he had the option of doing that off of our backs, still he would have done that. It wouldn't have been an issue to him. Drop Timothy. Let's go holler at the Romans, verse chapter 10, verse 2. Romans chapter 10, verse 2. You know, if
So like if I may, right? Like everything that the brother is saying is very, very important because Black History Month is really a joke. And a lot of people be like, oh man, it's Black History Month, this is happening, that's happening, all the racism. Like you gotta understand. Black History Month is really not about you.
Right.
Like just like how they gave you Dr. Martin Luther King Day.
Right.
How they gave you so-called Juneteenth.
Right.
They make a mockery. They make money off of you.
Money.
They make money
They
off of
get
you.
paid.
It's all marketing.
They get hella paid.
And also too, there are so many things and people and stories that we do not know. Our children don't know.
Right.
The younger generation and
That's
other
right.
generations do not know. You know what I mean? If I could, come on. How old are you again?
60.
60 years old, right? Like this brother, for example, and another brother. I heard this brother say out of his own mouth, he didn't know about Tulsa, Oklahoma until he came into the school. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You feel me? Like we should have been known this, but you do not know about Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Black History Month. You don't learn that. You don't learn the true history at all. But meanwhile, you learn about the civil rights movement. But thanks to the UPK, you learn the dark history behind the civil rights movement.
That's right.
You learn about, you don't learn about how Harriet Tubman knew that she was an Israelite.
Right.
And she had an Israelite name.
That's right.
And that there's brothers in the school who are related to Harriet Tubman.
Shout out to Milwaukee.
Right, damn right. Give also the bar marker name.
Shout out to Milwaukee, man.
The point is, there's so many things that you do not know concerning Black history.
That's right.
Honestly, in my opinion, Black History Month is a joke. When you should learn about Black history every day.
Right.
All day. Really, it's the Bible.
Gone.
You feel me? It's the Bible. It's a prophetic historical book.
That's right.
For the so-called Black Latinos and Native Indians. That is your history. No one talks about the history of Purim.
Right.
Outside of the ISUPK. The Feast of Dedication. The Passover. That's Black history.
That's right.
How the Most High destroyed the Africans, the so-called Africans, the Hamites.
That's right.
For the sake of God's chosen people, which are the Israelites, who are the so-called Negroes, Spics, wetbacks, savages, however you want to say it. All the bywords and proverbs that are against the minorities in America and all over South America, North America, Central America. So the whole point is Black History Month is not teaching you anything but how to be a slave.
Right.
Like how many times are we going to learn about Dr. Martin Luther King?
Right.
Malcolm X. These are, for Black History Month, all the people that they teach you about, probably not all, but majority of them are just token Negroes.
That's right.
That helped our oppressor. They talk about Eli Whitney, who made the cotton gin. They talk about, once again, Martin Luther King, who really was just a face. Just like, somehow Barack Obama made it to the Hall of Fame of Black History Month.
Right.
He is just a face who was African, who was not for the so-called Black people.
That's
and
right.
The fact that you only voted for him because he was so-called African American just lets you know how destroyed we are as a people. God damn. Just because he has a Black face. Like, come on, Oprah Winfrey. She's also in the Hall of Fame of Black History Month. And let me ask you something. What has she done for niggas? Nothing. But meanwhile, as soon as this crisis in Africa, she goes out there
that's
to feed them. What has Akon done for niggas except for disrespect and made sure that he set a difference between the Africans and African Americans just recently. Meanwhile, he comes into your entertainment business. He copies you, your style, your music, and gets rich and gives you not a goddamn thing.
That's right.
But meanwhile, he builds up schools and gives children electricity in Africa, families in Africa. Meanwhile, Flint is still going through a crisis. Where is it? Mississippi? Jackson, Mississippi?
Jacksonville.
Come on now. Like let's be real out here.
That's right.
Black History Month is not for Black people. I pray you understand, Salak.
Nah, count. Hey, clap it up. Clap it up for that point too. That's a heavy point. So now, and that would actually kind of segue into, where is this? Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. Surely a person maketh the wise man mad, and the gift destroyeth the heart.
Right, there you go. That's on point.
It gives you entertainment. It gives you a
Right.
distraction. It gives you something to focus on when a lot of people don't know the history of it. They don't know the roots behind it, the intention behind it, and what it does, like the application of it, what it does. The same way that they don't know the history about Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day. They don't know the history of it. We've just been practicing it for so long that it's just it's just an acclamation. Like we just do it now. Did that the troll say anything else?
Nah.
Good.
But otherwise,
Smart.
you got some sisters in here who are tuning in to class.
Shout out to the sisters. Who we got?
We got Sister Kawa.
Hey, Sister Kawa. Shalom, sis.
We got the Sister Marakapa.
Hey, Marakapa. Shalom, sis.
Salaki, if I'm messing up the name, but I'm just going to say, let me see here, Salaki. Actually, I'll say the Hebrew. No, not Salaki. So, sister don't have a Hebrew name yet. Lord allow she gets that. It's from New York. The sister name is Shani Small. Hey, Shani Small.
Shout out New York.
Let's give them all of them.
Yeah. All these sisters.
Shalom, Yahshua, Yahusha.
Damn right. And that's what we strive for, man. Every day for us, every day Black History Day.
That's right.
Every month is Black History Month. Every week is Black History Week. Black, Hispanic, and Native American.
There we go. That's right.
We don't
right.
take none of this off the table. We don't make no difference between ourselves, man.
That's right.
We gather together. Being a nation, not a desire. Being hated by everybody else. We don't let that gift destroy our heart.
Right.
And we don't take it for granted. We don't take that brotherhood and sisterhood for granted either.
That's right.
We put it into effect. And that's something that we are sorely lacking as people and as a community. Like we forgot. It's almost like we forgot how damn cool we are. Like
Right.
we're the shit.
Right.
So we're amazing.
Hey, no toilet paper.
At all. Nothing. Like just smooth as butter, man. Like we the best.
Right.
That's right.
And we hate each other.
Right.
Right.
We compete with each other unnecessarily. There's enough to go around, man. There's enough skill sets to go
Right.
around to create something, to build something that we all can live off of. That we all can pass down to the next kids, man. That we can all train the next generation up in. You know, Captain Malquat had a powerful story on Black Watch a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
With Commander Jonah Yahan talking about his experience, like just how close. Again, we are not far removed from all of this, from all the destruction from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And speaking of that too, when during the Passover event during that week, we're going to be doing a tour of the biggest Black Wall Street in America, right out there in North Carolina.
Slave plantation.
Yeah, kind of. So again, information that we didn't hear about prior to. It's not something that's really taught to us.
Yeah.
They don't want to propagate that. They want to propagate Black History Month because that's a distraction.
Right.
That'll because other people, other nations, how would I say it? Because other nations, again, crocodile tears, pretend to kiss your ass during that whole time, pretend to be your buddy, you know, still in your weed cipher, still one of your drug buddies that try to, again, fake reverence, a fake respect. You don't see, you know. All right, so Asians do not have an Asian History Month, but they got an anti-hate Asian crime bill passed. They don't need that. They wanted them laws passed for themselves. So we get a Black History Month.
Actually, Asians do have a month.
They got a month.
It's May.
They got what? When did this happen?
A while ago, yeah.
Oh, Sly, I'm out the game, man. Good night.
A while ago.
Good night.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna have to do more research on that.
Like now they have a Indigenous History Month, or Indigenous month.
When did they do this? Like last year?
It's been around. They have I think they have a like a woman's month, mental health month.
I think they got a dog month too. I think they got a cat month. I think there's a goldfish month.
No, you're funny, but yeah, not certain months are dedicated to certain things. So, yeah,
Asian American.
It's called Asian American and Pacific
Islander. Yeah.
Month. Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah.
I've never seen that celebrated.
Really?
I've never heard of that. Never seen that celebrated.
Yeah.
So during the month of May, I've never seen like an Asian caravan.
Right.
You know, driving down the street, parading.
Right.
Blah blah blah, holding lectures and seminars and parties and things like that. I never seen no movies. I ain't never seen no commercials, no advertisement for it.
Yeah.
Since 1990. Okay.
Yeah.
Since 1990, the U.S. government has designated the month of May as Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, celebrating the achievements and contributions of Asian American Pacific Islanders. No sweat. So that's to me, that's still brand new.
So like, if I may.
That's funny. So like, yeah.
So all right, I'll give it to you real quick.
That's funny as shit.
February, Black History Month. March, Women's History Month. April, SA Prevention and Awareness Month. Because you can't say those words online, they'll flag you.
SA History.
Sexual assault.
History and Prevention Month?
Yeah, you can't really say that word because they'll flag you. But anyway, I just said it, so hopefully we fast by that. May. So if you wonder what SA is, just think of someone being violated, all right? Because we can't really say the words because they will flag our channels.
That just seems kind of a weird.
Yeah. You gotta say on TikTok, Facebook.
I'm just saying, just have a month for that. Like,
it's more of awareness. People, victims, and things of that sort.
All right, and all right, because it happens all the damn time. That should be like 365.
Yeah. So May, Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. June, Pride Month, which is for the LGBTQ. But actually, it does not stop there. July, Disability Pride Month. So that's for people who have disabilities. All right. September, Linux Heritage Month, which I believe that's more for like the Latinos. October is actually LGBTQ plus History Month. So not only do they have a Pride Month in June, they have a History Month in October.
Since we just handed this stuff out, I want my own month.
Right.
I want my own damn. Since they're just throwing it out there, I want my own month.
Right. Let me see if I missed anything. November. This is beyond me. November is Native American Heritage Month. Ironic, because of Thanksgiving, and also too Columbus Day and Indigenous Day, which is next to next. December 3rd is International Day of Persons with Disabilities. So yeah. And then October, once again, is National Coming Out Day.
So all right, so they got another one. So that's like 3 for
Yeah,
their
yeah. And
for
then
their community.
so like Indigenous Peoples Day is actually in October, not in November. But anyway, yeah, I digress. Good night. Good night, boy. You can't make this up.
That's right. Sure can.
Good night.
So again, you got days and weeks and months for all types of things. You got a dog day, you got a cat day.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
so as far as this though, this is really heritage months and identity recognitions. But the actual days, every single day, I believe, damn near for each month there's a certain day. Like you said, cat day, dog day, donut day,
right,
pie day,
pet flying day.
You got best friend day,
Yeah.
brother, sister, sibling day, all that stuff.
Listen, those are the people that they mentioned. All right.
Good night.
They got countries behind them too. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't need a month. They got land.
Right.
They got a country. They got a whole thing.
So like if I made the sister Maraka Pop, she said, let's go to the bank and tell them we identify as a wealthy individual that has a 750 credit score.
Right.
Hey, and she also said, and they better not tell me different. Damn right. I wish. Yeah. Good night.
And just again the mockery and the audacity behind it.
Right.
This is again those other. All right, so again we don't disassociate ourselves from blacks, Hispanics, or Native Indians. That we're all one people, all one body. Those dedications don't advance us in any way, shape, or form. The hatred doesn't stop just because we get a day of cultural recognition,
right?
Historical recognition. What's the word? Achievements. Cultural achievements or ethnic achievements in this country. That doesn't do anything for us.
Right.
Our people are still getting brutalized out there. Whereas those other nations that in other communities are protected. That might make a difference. If say February came with protection of black people, then maybe you could take that serious. Because at least they're trying to value the lives of them people. But again, they got an anti-Asian hate crime bill passed. They're not as concerned with political standings the same way that we are. I've never heard about that in May. So like you to the men above me for getting that one wrong. I've never heard about that. I've never seen any of them celebrate that, make mention of it. They ain't walking around like, oh, it's May, it's National, Asian Month, Asian History Month. They don't care because they already got their culture. And they're living off of the benefits of their achievements here in America, because they're not doing that in China. Well, maybe before I get something else wrong, let me double check on that too. But they're not at the same expense, at the same. They're not being exploited the same way we are. They're riding that same wave. They're riding the same coattails as everybody else, as the rest of our oppressors. They're riding the same coattails. What scripture you got right now?
Romans chapter 10, verse 2.
All right, read that real quick. We about to end this out in a second.
For I bear their record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge.
So now again, you got a lot of people that sincere, very sincere. They want to see, they want to see reform. They want to see acknowledgement, which is understandable considering how ignored we get and how railroaded we've been. It's understandable to for people to have that kind of concern and consideration. Like, I get it. it's just naive to have, you know, an expectation of accomplishment behind it. Black History Month don't do nothing for us. It's propagated off of, you know, kind of customs and traditions that ain't even associated with us. All right, so again, our acknowledgments, our achievements, our innovations, again, understandable. We should remember that every day.
Right.
We should take pride and consider that every day and talk about this amongst each other every day, which is what we do. We do that.
That's right.
We do that.
Damn right.
Outside of February, we're not other brothers and sisters that are in the world ain't doing that enough. It seems like we're making more progress on that with some of the social media platforms. You know, we're making a beautiful mess on Clubhouse. You know, glorious chaos left and right. Because like the system, this needs to get broken. It needs a shift. It needs to get cracked. People need to get made, a little bit uncomfortable. Like we need to take them out of their comfort zone. More or less what I'm trying to say. We need to take them out of their comfort zone so that they can think outside of that box. So they can feel something different. So that they're not just watered down. Again, letting that gift destroy their heart. We're trying to strengthen the people up. So that we're not reliant on Black History Month, on Martin Luther King's birthday. It's a joke. It's a joke, and don't act like they're not treating it like a joke. Like they don't care. The rest of America don't care. I ain't talking about dude that you work with. I ain't talking about your manager. I ain't talking about the little hippie, pothead that you get high with. We ain't talking about them. We talking about your Abraham Lincolns. We talking about your George Washingtons, your Andrew Jacksons, your John Smiths, your Donald Trumps, your Barack Obamas. They don't care. They ain't got no dog in this fight. They ain't. For them, how would I say it? For them, it might as well be how I would consider Asian Heritage History Month. Like, what? Like, okay, so, and? It's not important across the board. And the history of it, it ain't rooted in anything. It sounds good. It sounds good for people that want that kind of fairy tale storyline. For people that want the sugar-coated reality. Again, it sounds good for that. It makes sense for them. It works for that. Which is what we need to cut down. So that's one scripture that we're going to end up on. I want you to get Romans chapter 1. I want you to go down to 25.
Romans.
No, good. You get it.
Romans chapter 1, verse 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen.
So now we take, again, pride and vanity over practicality. We got Purim coming up, March 6th, March 5th and 6th at sundown. March 5th at sundown, March 6th at sundown is when it ends. We got Passover coming up, April 1st, Raleigh, North Carolina. We've got our own set of high holy days that are ordained by God, practiced by our people. Hey, for our achievements, for our dedication, for our participation, our devotion, that's worthy to be remembered. That again, we also do every day. So like April is going to kick off the Passover. In December, we still talking about the Passover. Like it don't just end right there. February comes and goes like in the blink of an eye. And in the heat of the moment, people pretend to have brotherhood and love for their people. But once February is over, man, like that all goes out the window.
Right.
It's right back to the same old, shoot 'em up, bang bang. Back to selling drugs, back to overdosing, back to not giving it, back to fornication, back to adultery, back to the same stereotypical drama that again they laugh at us for. So trying to cover that up with something that again kind of feels good, it makes you wanna I don't even know how that would make you feel recognized. Like it's a slap in the face for us. It don't deserve our attention.
Right.
We've got more important issues to deal with. So gather together on Nation Not Desire, man. Come out to that Passover, April 1st, Raleigh, North Carolina. Get to this school at ISUPK.com. Get in contact with Commander General Yohana. Get in contact with the school near you. See what you can do in real life. Because Black History Month, it's fake. They wrote it down on the board. That's as far as that thing goes, man. When we remember each other in this truth, we remember each other every day.
Right.
We remember all of our achievements, all of our accolades, all of our skill, our reputation, our everything that makes us great, who we are as a people. Deuteronomy 7:6, chosen above all people. We are special people to the Lord our God. You know what I'm saying? And paraphrasing that, but we remember this every day. We don't need some fake month followed by somebody else's fake month, by somebody else's fake month, by somebody else's fake month, by somebody else's fake month. When they actually they don't just have those dedications to themselves. They've got laws backing them up, protecting them.
Right.
We don't have that. We just got something written down on the calendar, and we think that that's acceptable. Until our kingdom is restored, we are going to work diligently to bring our focus back to where it has to be. On our records, on our history, that is not placated around two devils' birthdays that had nothing to do with us.
Right.
So Salaki, with that, we're gonna get into these security announcements. So again, the water for everybody that joined us on social media. We're at ISUPK. We got the Passover coming up. We're gonna get into these announcements, and then we're gonna get on with class. So Salaki. We're at the ISUPK, the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969, 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They'll be saluted on. They're here to set themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment. You can find it in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means tenth in Hebrew, Ma'ashor. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give it to the treasury department or a teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests. Not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. So now you can go to ISUPK.com. We got the donate and tithes buttons there. The Passover fee button, $200 per brother or sister 17 years or older. $ UPK Minnesota, all caps. If you wanted to make any donations or if you had to pay tithes through us in that respect. If you got the Zelle app, Israelite School UPK. The first name is Israelite School, last name UPK. Email ties@isupk.com. And again, in all those in the note section, you can mention what it's specifically for: priest fund, donations, certain events, Passover, this, that, and the third. So again, with the Passover feast too, if you paid that $200 before before the Passover, without paying at the door, there's certain amenities that come into that also. So the all black party, otherwise it's like a $25 charge at the door if you end up paying the Passover funds at the door. It's going to be an additional $25 when you get to the all black party. Otherwise, you pay that ahead of time and then you cover good to go in. Upcoming holy convocations, got Purim coming up, man. Get in contact with school near you. March 5th at sundown or March 6th at sundown. IHPK.com, get in contact with school near you, see what kind of accommodations you might need or what contributions you can make. April 1st at sundown, Raleigh, North Carolina Convention Center is going to be the Lord's 54th annual Passover. Until March 2nd at sundown, followed up by the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is going to extend for 8 days. So if you're not going to be there for that entire time, which it's not going to be held there that entire time for the Feast of Dedication, just make sure that you start getting all the leavening out of your house too. Make sure that for when you come back.
Is that Feast of Dedication?
Did I say that?
Yeah.
It's like your Feast of Unleavened Bread. My fault. Yeah. Feast of Unleavened Bread. Make sure that you get all the leavening out of your house ahead of time so that when you come back, you're not in violation of anything. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's strictly coded out.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, get in contact with school near you. Keep an eye on the bulletin boards, on the social media platforms, on the websites, on the different chat groups that you might be involved in to see about any updates, upcoming events for any of the locations. Any brother wants to be trooping to school, start wearing all black. It means your boots, your shirt, your pant, headband, and or scarf. With that, imagine, which means stand. Upon Yakadam, turn to face the east. When you say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, you can find it in Matthew chapter 6, verse 8 to 13. Abinawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Hayah. Shamka. Yahweh. Malakuka. Taba'ah. Ratazaka. Hayah. Aisha. Baratazah. Kawa. Hayah. Bashamayim. The thunder now. The calm. Call. Yawam. Wasalak now. Kabawath now. Kasalak now. Kabawathi now. Wala'ah. Tabiyan now. Bansai one. Abal. Hawashai now. Mayan. Right. Kaya. Laka. Hamlakwa. Waha'al. Hata Para. La'ulam. Aman. In English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. We forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. For the blessed Israel and the Hebrew. Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Barak Lanaw. Wayashal. Wahabaya. Sapari. Barak. Rapa'ah. Magun. Hagun. Now, this time you can say the name of a loved one once. Everyone repeats that name once. If you're following us on social media, you can type in the name of a loved one. We'll send the prayers up with you.
UPK Minnesota.
UPK Minnesota.
All UPK.
All UPK.
All Israel.
All of Israel.
Desiree Davis. All the Davis family.
All the Davis family.
Israelite School UPK.
Israelite School UPK.
All of Israel.
All Israel.
Bashem Yahushua. Dwar in English. Lord, in the name of Yahushua. Bless us in this one.
Bless us in Israel.
In the school.
Bless.
Heal. Shield. Protect. Our loved ones. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be it. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. And all things living. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Listen to us now. Right
right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evil curses
And punishment and destruction.
and punishment destruction
To the heathen.
to the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
The prophets,
The teachers.
the teachers,
The princes.
the princes,
The priests.
the priests,
The Israelite brothers.
the Israelite prophets,
And the school.
and the schools.
Send evils and curses.
Send evil curses
And punishment and destruction.
and punishment destruction
To the heathen.
to the
And
heathen.
shake loose.
Shake loose
The treasure of the rich of Israel.
treasure of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force
Of
their
the
riches.
riches.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
Send
This is the sacred.
Send evils and curses.
Send evil curses
And punishment and destruction.
punishment destruction
To the Edomites.
to the
To the
Edomites
Edomites.
And the nation.
to the nation
And their drug dealers.
and destruction.
Court system.
The court system,
Prison system.
the prison system,
Planned Parenthood.
Parenthood,
All the governments of our enemies.
all of them are enemies.
Amalek synagogues and arms.
MLS,
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church,
The Pope.
the Pope,
Islam.
Islam,
Christianity.
Christianity,
Egyptology.
Egyptology,
Militia.
militia,
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation,
Skinheads.
skinheads,
Toxicomatize.
hospitality,
The gay movement.
gay movement,
Lesbian movement.
lesbians,
Spies.
spies,
Workers of witchcraft.
workers of witchcraft,
That's a space program.
and space program,
Army.
Army,
Navy.
Navy,
Air Force.
Air Force,
Marines.
Marines,
Wall Street.
Wall Street,
Open up the internet.
open up the
And
internet,
the airways.
And the
airways,
Cable access channel.
Cable access channel.
And the radio channel.
The radio station.
Convict the spirit
Convict the spirit
of any of our people
in and of our people
that seek to stop
that
us
seek to stop
and bring swift destruction
and bring swift destruction
to all the heathens
to all the heathens
that stand in the way
that stand in the way
or try to stop
or
us
trying to stop us.
from broadcasting your word
Broadcasting the word,
throughout the planet Earth.
block the planet Earth,
Let loose all the plagues.
let us all the plague,
Cause them to go to and fro
all go to and fro,
through the earth and consume them.
through the earth and consume,
Let the plague shake the house of the thief
let the plague shake the house of the thief
and the murder.
and the murder.
The Yahweh shot.
The Yahweh,
Michael and Gabriel
Michael and Gabriel,
come down with the flying
put
saucers.
down the flying sauce,
Punish all the heathens
punish all the heathens
that come up against
that
us
come against us
as we speak thy word.
as we speak their word.
Cause it be known by all
Cause you know about
that it's the angels that have done it.
that the angels that
Cause it be spread through the media
cause me spread to me
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake it that comes.
Cause me shake it that come.
In the name of Yahushua,
And then you have a shot.
thank you all.
Thank you all.
So be it.
So be it.
So to the front. Men of Israel, Mighty Shabbat, Mighty Barak,
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Baruch Hu.
Yazmatai. Courtesy salute for the sisters, Men of Israel, Mighty Shabbat, Mighty Barak,
Yahweh Shema Hashem Yahushua.
Yazmatai. Let's dismiss.
Back row.
ISUPK presents the 54th annual Feast of Unleavened Bread. Last year we did it big. This year is going to be way big. More brotherhood, more sisterhood, more UPK. On Sunday, April 2nd, 2023, we're going to be at 421 South Salisbury Street in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Sheraton Raleigh Hotel Ballroom. We're calling all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to come join us.
To your third eye, peephole, line for line, this shit too easy. It's like a free throw. Mastered the game too early. This bitch is cheat code.
Remember, admission to the Passover is $200 per adult. That's $200 per adult. For more information, call 919-697-8257. Call 919-697-8257.